Very much. My name is Hezron Okiki, a resident and a voter from Nakuru Town West constituency. Today we are going to talk purely about the Gen Zs over their issues that they brought to the country. The country almost came to its knees because Gen Zs wanted to at least bring some order in the country. Number one thing that we must acknowledge is that we had problem with our country called Kenya, ranging from corruption, tribalism, unemployment, and many other things. The thing that we need to acknowledge about Gen Zs is that whatever they've done has never been done in the entire history of the country. Number one thing, when they raised the issue that the country had a problem, people whom we elected, that is to say the MPs, our representatives, ignored them and chose to do what they think they would do to benefit themselves. The pressure that Gen Zs brought actually changed all the narratives, and we are therefore applauding the Gen Zs over what they've done. As we speak today, the Gen Zs were claiming about what is called finance bill. That was draconian and that was to oppress Kenyans. They pleaded with elected leaders to abandon it, but elected leaders turned deaf ears and did their own things. After this happened, the Gen Zs made a pressure that made the president not to sign the bill or to assent the bill. When this happened, the MPs who were charged with the responsibilities were rendered useless, because if the ordinary Kenyans who sent them to represent them were not represented and their voices were not heard, then what are the roles and functions of an MPs for them to earn their salaries, which are paid by taxpayers? So to us, we are saying, and we are condemning that the first people to be shown the door are the MPs, because they are not representing the common man. Number two, the issue that is eating up Kenya is nothing other than runaway corruption. It is corruption that has brought the country to its knees. And corruption ranges from national to the ground. When we start with the national, the loans and the tenders and what have you, it is all about corruption. There is no order. Like you find people who are charged with the responsibilities of giving even tenders are the ones benefiting from tenders. Instead of doing the right thing, they are cutting the deals that makes Kenyans not get value for their money. And therefore we are saying even tendering process must be designed to ensure that people get value for their money. That is number one. Number two, the Gen Zs are talking about Ruto must go. Yes, their quest for Ruto must go cannot be stopped, but I am just asking a simple question on the Gen Zs. Yes, Ruto must go. Who is taking over? Because Kenya is governed by the law, and if the law is in place, we must embrace the law. If they are talking of Ruto must go, who is taking over from Ruto? Because as we speak now, Ruto might be that bad, but again Gachagua is more worse than even Ruto, because when they took over, it is Gachagua who turned to be something else. So if Gachagua thinks that if Ruto goes, or if he has other operatives that he may think that after Ruto goes, he will take over, we are saying very clearly that even if Ruto goes today, Gachagua and Ruto have to go. So Gachagua should not think that if Ruto goes, he will be the beneficiary. We will have to ensure that all of them goes home. That is number one. Number two, people are speculating that people who will take up next are the military. In countries where the military takes over, is a country where militaries are not in business. But in Kenya, you find militaries are owning properties and they are also in business. So it is like an ordinary thing. So in Kenya, for military to take over, it will be an uphill task, because these people also have properties and they are in business. So they are not impartial, and therefore military takeover is also not an option. Number three, we are talking of another alternative. The only alternative is to constitute IEBC, so that at least we can have a board that can conduct proper elections. But what I'm asking, the Gen Zs are saying that they don't want Wazees. I want to correct the Gen Zs by saying this. When KK government came into office, 3/4 of leaders of KK were the youths and young people. When we equate them with the finance bill that was draconian, all the KK MPs voted yes. And the people who are elderly, the old people like Adipo Kwome from Karachuonyo, who is almost 102 years, voted no. So I'm saying in a simple term that it is not about age, it is about conscience. You might be as young as a child, but whatever you are articulating is totally different from the wishes of Kenya that will help Kenya. So it is not about age, it is about conscience. And therefore, if we are talking of it is only Gen Zs who should be considered. Kenya is governed by the law. If we are changing Kenya, let us incorporate everybody, people with sound mind, people who can respect the law, and people who can steer Kenya forward. It is not about age, it is not about people's wishes. So what we are saying is simple. Today, Ruto has fired the entire cabinet. That shows that there was something wrong. You cannot just wake up and fire people. It therefore means there is something wrong, and we are asking if a complete overhaul is to be done. We would want it to start from cabinet, it will go to MPs, it will go to MCAs, it will go to governors, and it will go to everybody. So I'm applauding the Gen Zs never to relent the struggle to liberate this country. We are expecting more, and I'm appealing to them so that we can embrace the law for us to revamp our country to come to normalcy. That is what I can say for today. Thank you very much. May God bless you.